What's going on, guys? It's Steve. So obviously, this is no surprise. Russell Westbrook wins MVP. Pretty much everyone understands this. Now, some people are upset. Some people are happy. I'm on both sides of the fence, and dude, I could not stop laughing at James Harden yesterday because he couldn't win it in 15. He couldn't win it in 16, and then in 17 he doesn't win it either. But so I can understand both sides of the argument to why Russell Westbrook did or did not deserve the MVP. Yo, dude, before I even start this video, yesterday I was playing ball and my forearm, for the first time in my entire life, started to cramp. Okay, and now it's so sore and it hurts whenever I move. So yeah. Anyway, that's besides the point. So let's look at the argument for why Russell Westbrook deserved MVP. Okay, so the first argument is that he averaged a triple-double and he had one of the greatest seasons of all time, which is true. The dude averaged 32 points per game, around 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and around 1.5 steals per game. He played 81 games, so he only missed one game. He played 35 minutes per game. He shot 43% from the field, 34% from three, and 85% from the free throw line. So that's pretty good. But then when you look at turnovers, 5.4, that's really not too good. His IQ really isn't good. But the whole thing is that I think Kevin Durant really helped him in this situation. And the reason why I say this is because Russell Westbrook carried the Thunder into the NBA playoffs. He carried them to the NBA playoffs. I mean, he had 2,600 points, 860 rebounds, and 840 assists in a single season. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. They finished 47-35. It's not a great record, but at the same time, it's really not all that bad. I mean, it's not a terrible record. It's just it's decent. It's a decent record. It's not like, oh, it's great, or oh, it's disgusting. He made the playoffs. He made the playoffs solidly. Okay, they only played 5 games. I believe they lost to Houston in 5 games. I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong about that. I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure it was to Houston. Okay, so the argument for Russell Westbrook is the second best player in the world left his team. And Russell Westbrook said, okay, I'll respond by averaging a triple-double and leading my team to I think it was a top 6 seed in the Western Conference, top 7 seed in the West, something like that. So in terms of that, I can understand the argument easily. I understand the argument. But when you look at the other side of the spectrum and you look at how well James Harden played, I mean, he also played 81 games. He played 36 minutes per game. He shot 19 shots compared to Russell Westbrook's 24, but he only averaged 3 less points. James Harden averaged 29 points per game, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. He shot 44% from the field, 35% from 3, and 85% from the free throw line. Now, something crazy about James Harden is his turnovers are pretty much the same as Russell Westbrook. So efficiency-wise and IQ-wise and defense, they're both really not too great. But they both had really historic seasons. I mean, James Harden, with Dwight Howard leaving, one of the best big men in NBA history, top 20 big man ever, with Dwight Howard leaving, James Harden still led his team to a top seed in the Western Conference. They finished 55-27. They won 10 more games than the Oklahoma City Thunder, and James Harden didn't win it. Why? Because he averaged 1-2 less rebounds, So I can understand that point of the spectrum, I can see why people would be upset that, look, okay, yeah, so what if Russell Westbrook averaged triple-double? James Harden only averaged 2 less rebounds, but 1 more assist, only 3 less points, but he took like 4 less shots. He led his team to 10 plus more wins. He went farther in the playoffs, so I can understand that perspective as well. Now, there's another perspective that a lot of people like to bring up, is that Kawhi Leonard deserved MVP, and I can understand Kawhi Leonard as well. Kawhi Leonard averaged 26 points per game, 6 rebounds, around 4 assists. Of course, I'm rounding up. It's really 25.5, 5.8, 3.5, but I just rounded up to make it easy. So 26, 6, and 4. Okay, he played 74 games. He only took 18 shots per game. He shot 48% from the field, 38% from 3, and 88% from the free throw line. Now, the difference between Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and Russell Westbrook is the fact that Kawhi Leonard dominates on both ends of the floor. Kawhi Leonard elevated his offense, It was ridiculous. I didn't think he would be this good, but he's this good. He's a top 5 player on the planet. He is that good. So from that perspective, it's like Kawhi plays both ends of the floor better. He was the best player on the second best team in the Western Conference that finished 61-21. So he won more games than both of them, and he was the best player on that team. That team was second in the Western Conference. They were 61-21. So the argument was Kawhi Leonard deserved it. Okay, because Kawhi Leonard, although his numbers aren't as impressive, you don't really need to look at numbers to determine who's a better player. Because Kawhi Leonard's more efficient. He only had 2 turnovers per game. He shoots better from the field, from the free throw line, and from 3. Okay? And on top of that, this man, Kawhi Leonard, plays both ends of the floor. So I can understand all arguments. Okay? I definitely understand. I'm not upset that Russell Westbrook won. He deserved it. All 3 of these players deserved MVP. I was just dying at James Harden because he just simply cannot catch a break. He can't catch a break. He had a great season in 2015, right? He had a great season in 2016. And 2017, he also had a great season. Look, in 2015, he averaged 27, 6, and 7. Okay, in 2016, he averaged 29, 5, 29, 6, and 8. And this season, he averaged 29, 8, and 11. He had great years. He's been, ever since he went to Houston, this dude's average is 27 points per game, which is ridiculous, 6 rebounds per game, and 8 assists per game. He's averaging 27, 6, and 8 since he went to Houston. So it's not like he's playing terrible. Okay, and Kawhi Leonard had a breakout year. He didn't even win the Defensive Player of the Year award, which I'll make a separate video on that. But at the same time, you have to look at it from all angles, okay? Russell Westbrook, he did something that no player in NBA history since Oscar Robertson did. And you have to understand that this is a league where there's less possessions than there were back then, okay? But on top of that, it's even harder because now you have big men that can grab 15 rebounds easily. They did that back then, but there's more talent in the league. There's more skill. There's more. Everything develops over time. So we're in a more advanced league. This man is 6'3" tall, averaging a triple double, regardless about his IQ, regardless about his turnovers or his efficiency. He averaged a triple double. They went 45-37, and they still made the NBA playoffs without the second best player in the world, in Kevin Durant. That's a huge accomplishment. So congratulations to Russell Westbrook. He definitely deserved it. His speech, boy, he was tearing up, man. He was choking. He was tearing up. Not choking in the fact that he messed up his speech, but he was choking up like trying not to cry, But it was crazy this about his brother always texting him at halftime, and his dad and his mom. Like, you guys don't realize this. I'm gonna stray off topic for 1 second. You guys don't realize how important family is. Like, time goes by and we just, oh yeah, I see them every day. But you see how his brother texts him all the time. You saw how he said his father used to stay up and play video games with him late at night. Like, that stuff matters, man. That bond matters. Okay, and the reason why I know that more than a lot of people is because just like a lot of other young men that are black and Hispanic like myself, we grew up without fathers. Our fathers were in prison. So I felt I got teary-eyed. I was like, fuck, don't make me cry, man. Don't make me cry, man. I'm 20. I can't cry now, man. 20 years old now. But yeah, man, it was a great speech. He deserved it. Obviously, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard were the finalists for the MVP this season. Now, in terms of next year, who do I think is going to win MVP? I know it's not going to be anyone on the Warriors unless something ridiculous happens, like they go like 75-7 or something crazy like that. It's not going to be anyone on the Cleveland Cavaliers, regardless if they get Melo or Paul George or both, or Dwayne Wade or Chris Paul. It's not going to be them. It's going to be the same 3 players that we have now. It ain't going to be Lonzo Ball. It's going to be between Russ, James, and Kawhi again. And I'm predicting that he's gonna. I'm predicting that James Harden may never win an MVP. It's gonna be Kawhi Leonard that's gonna win next season. You know, I kind of feel bad for James Harden because, excuse me, I kind of feel bad for James Harden because he's such a great player, man. He's such a great player, and he deserved it for the last 3 seasons. But you know, you can't knock a triple double and making the playoffs without the second best player in the world on that team anymore. Anyway, it's been your man Steve. I've talked long enough. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm out of here. Peace.